Paper Mario. Pretty sure this is not for my character, so... This really was Peach's, like, Bake Cates and Invitations era, wasn't it? I like the consistent look of the castle in all the N64 Core games. Curiosity. Shame. No Bob-omb Battlefield for me. I do kind of like this preview of locations you'll visit in the form of NPCs from there. So this is the second attempt at a Mario-flavored RPG. The first one, of course, was the creatively titled Super Mario RPG on the SNES, which was developed by Squaresoft. Or co-developed? I'm not quite sure. And that was just kind of a weird game. A lot of original characters, a lot of doing its own thing plot-wise. This is by Intelligent Systems. We're best known for, I guess, Advanced Wars still at this point, and also Fire Emblem, I guess. And they kind of like understood the assignment more as far as like what flies plot-wise in a Mario game. And I also think really interesting with this that I do so hopefully. One of the better looks for Bowser, honestly. It's like halfway between how he tends to look in games now and how he looked in like Super Mario Bros. 3. Time for some turn-based combat. We have a very normal RPG menu of items, AI, and jump. You notice these attacks are doing 1 damage. And that is because in this game, yeah, things do like single-digit stuff, which is a huge strength for it, really. So you can get your damage boosted from like 1 to 2. That feels a lot more noticeable than, you know, like from 158 to 207 or whatever. Or, you know, when you're consistently doing 2 damage, like something has 1 point of defense, it's like a big deal. Or, for instance, here, he has 1 point of defense, and suddenly my jump does nothing. Very, very cartoonish. You get knocked unconscious and there's just stars spinning over your head. Also, because I've have much fresher memories of the sequel to this, which played into the paper thing a lot more, and you'd think it would have just floated down. You know, when you think about it, Mario really does know a lot of weird cosmic entities at this point. Remember when Mario never talked? So one notable thing about this game, if I were to get back to Mario's house, there's this whole thing of Luigi just being kind of neurotic about not being along this adventure and feeling really insecure, and that's kind of where that whole characterization started. Kind of reminds me of like the house from like Pac-Man 2. He does that. Okay, now we're doing it. Very expressive faces in this too. Now we can engage in the time-honored task of just kind of environmental harassment. a new attack now, so... So did the original Paper Mario not have timed hits? This is like the only Mario RPG that does not? So you can see it's a much more Mario-y take on RPG than Super Mario RPG was. Yeah, just to make it a little bit more action-y. Fine. So what you might be thinking right now is like, okay, I can jump on things and do 1 damage, or I can hit them with the hammer and do 1 damage. Why bother distinguishing them? Which for now is a fair question. Here's an answer. This one's got a spike on its head, so if I jump, it would take damage. So I just said. Now, what I like about this is this kind of winds up serving as a tutorial to RPGs in general. Like, hey, check out the monster. Get a handle on the properties that it has. And, you know, exploit weaknesses accordingly. It takes long to at least get another character in my party, I think. Properly. Old school with the brown hair. Good little walk animation. Well, actually interactive. So yeah, from here on, you always have one other party member. You can swap them around later. So let me actually equip that. This is the entirety of character customization, I think. Although we do have... Yeah, okay. I can do stuff like this. And there are, of course, like, unique lines like this for every NPC in the game. You have a girl version of this character in the sequel, who, oh no. Sure, why not? So, much simpler options here. This costs no MP. So, sure, why not? So yeah, the basic jump and hammer are just kind of what they are, but then you get oh no, upgraded versions later. Oh no, we'll permanently show their HP because I've scanned them. Not getting initiative didn't matter at all. Unless I wanted to do the power jump thing, then I could have. Out, but you know, gotta conserve that MP. But yeah, so the big difference with this and the sequel on the GameCube is that in that one, the badges are more about like customizing your basic moves than anything, and like spells are their own thing. So the equivalent of this thing would just be better shoes, where your base jump damage would go up. But also that one does the timed hit thing, where if you do a special little action, you can, like, you know, take less damage and do more damage. And there's some strategy to it, where the hammer does one more damage on the one hit it gets, and the jump gets another hit. And those kind of, like, over the course of the game and depending on your, like, equipment configuration, pretty dramatically differ from each other. There's a defense stat, and, like, you know, two zero hit jump, to do zero damage jumps aren't as good as one damage hammer if you have those charged up. But then if you have a better set of boots, then, like, oh well, that changes the math there. And here, I definitely like to deal with this as Mario, because you can only head mock, which counts as a jump. And again, like, the very, very low numbers make it, like, much easier to pay attention to. Like, oh, yes, I should do some damage and not no damage. Which gets you into a nice habit for when you play, like, you know, a Dragon Quest. And it gets a little bit more complicated over time. Like, late in the game, you're doing a whole, like, 5 damage sometimes. Maybe even 10. But the numbers stay very, very, very low the entire way through, is the point. Makes them very, like, meaningful. The other thing I was going to point out, if it wasn't taking so long to get there, is when you level up, if I recall, you have a choice of a couple stats to improve. And it's just like max HP, something, or more. I think it's like HP, FP, or badge points are your three options, and like you kind of always want to go with badge points because you can get badges to like up your HP and MP. Just having the flexibility, very important. I forgot to scan those. Oh well. Yeah, that's basically Taste how this game works. It's pretty cute. It maintains this whimsical attitude the whole way through. Hey, I can end on a boss, sure. Do your thing. That. I do have that, but that's a consumable. I need to save that for the end of the game. Yes, anyway, yeah, you get the idea. It's a cute little game.